I mean, it took a while, but we're back in the saddle again, baby. Welcome back to the Eternal Baseball Podcast. We're your hosts, Mark Weber, Brent Rotundi. Separated, our friendship can only be separated by Christmas and New Year's and travel and all sorts of things. But and thanks to Mike Irizarry for filling in last week. When we fended off the bot invasion and watching Mike's head and the Yankees down, I think 1 run, bases loaded, 2 outs in the 8th, and Mark Eichhorn strikes out Babe Ruth. I got to look it up. Because we always play Yankee games when Mike's on, because Mike's a Yankee fan, so am I. And we have to be like 1-6 or something like that. Like, we are just brutal running the Yankees. And it's almost always the bullpen that murders us. And it's always like 3-run bombs off Rigetti, or Rivera walks 5 in the 9th. Or it's NBA Jam level of garbage, basically. But
so Rob got banned and Mike threw a quad. Sounds like
pretty much, right? And Mark Eichhorn struck out Babe Ruth, and but we did have a Blue Jay fan active in the comments who was happy early and then mad middle and then thrilled at the end. So anything can happen in Eternal Baseball, and lots of things have been happening. Hang on, let me fix my lamp here. We actually ran into a bug. We talked about this a little bit on our in our newsletter. And if you're not familiar with the newsletter, it goes out every Friday. And you can sign up on our homepage, eternalbaseball.com, totally free. And some unique content on there every week. And one of the things we talked about, we ran into a bit of a Y2K bug on the game. In that this is only our 2nd season, and our 1st season ran February to the end of September. This is the first one that carried over until over the new year. And what we found it messed with was pitch counts for pitchers. So normally if a pitcher will throw, in a full game, will throw 100, 120 pitches if he goes all 9. And then the next day, usually the computer will list him as unavailable. So they call it expected pitch count, or EPC. And the EPC for a guy who pitched yesterday is 0. Like, you're unavailable. You can't throw, don't even think about it. But then the next day, usually a starting pitcher will have like 20 pitches in his arm. And it'll say 20-S for short. So if you start him today, it's on short rest. He's probably only got 20 good pitches. And it basically goes 20, like 45, 75, 100. And then on the 5th day, he's good to go again, fully rested and chomping at the bit. But it had a hard time reconciling guys who had started essentially the year before, even if that was just yesterday. And so we had guys, it was all messy. We had guys who weren't ready, who should have been. We had guys who had pitched yesterday who were fully recovered by the next day. And I caught it pretty quick. But there are a couple guys who pitched back-to-back days at full health. So I'm sorry about that, but it was kind of random and kind of arbitrary. And kudos to the guys at DK Sports. We use Action PC Baseball as our simulator software, and they've sent us a fix that we're installing shortly. But I've been fixing these pitch counts for about a week, and it's kind of a drag. Because you have to go in for each team and fix. Originally, it was pretty much everybody, and now most guys are clear. But I still have to check, and there's still a little bit of bugginess going on, so I've been keeping my eye on it as best I could. But they have pretty good forums on their website, and I posted there because there's guys who play this sim all the time, like multiple leagues running at once. And the only feedback I got was, yeah, you probably shouldn't run a league over the new year. Like, well, when we talked early on, we knew that we wanted today's game to be today's game and not to be talking on, January 9th that, hey, we're simming April 18th today, because I wouldn't keep it straight.
Yeah, we're much too old to keep all that straight.
And the fans wouldn't keep it straight. So But we appreciate them doing some troubleshooting for us, and we think it'll square it away. So with that, we bring up the old screen.
I would say, I think most baseball fans the last couple of years are able to process a little bit of weirdness during the course of the season.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're just trying to keep it as normal as possible.
We're just simple cavemen, right? So it's been a couple weeks since we threw this bad boy up, but this is our tracker to see how teams have been doing on certain weeks. So if you're not familiar with it, over here in the left-hand column.
Wow, there must be a glitch. What happened to Birmingham?
Right? So Birmingham had its first bad week maybe ever. The teams that are bolded are your current division leaders. So Birmingham was the AL champ last year. Detroit won the Central. The Yankees won the East. The Phillies won the National League East. And the Giants won the West. But the Giants and they were the world champs or eternal champs. But the Giants were like pole to pole, right? They were leading and by a ton the whole way. And they're only up a little bit. You see them at 20 and 15. That's a far cry from last year. And near as I can tell, lots of guys are having down years. But Bill Terry, their first baseman, who hit like 390 last season, is a little subpar and is losing playing time to Will Clark. And Willie Mays is having an un-Willie Mays-ish season. So again, every player has their numbers adjusted every year for that season, anywhere from 30% up to 30% down or anywhere in the middle. And that modifier is one of the reasons we chose this software, to give us some variance between seasons. And there's no way to see that number or adjust that number. The only way to really tell is by seeing who's got a muffler on, basically. Ted Williams, a good example, hit 286 last year. So obviously they had put a bit of a damper on his numbers. But this year he's at 440. So maybe he's just back to normal, or maybe he's getting, a little of the good direction. So anyway.
We're gonna need to have a wake, I think, for Texas here shortly.
Oh my gosh, poor Texas. Yeah, and it's pretty much all pitching, which you could probably if I asked you, do you think the problem in Texas is hitting or pitching? Yeah. I mean, it's funny because the names aren't that bad, but if you think about a team like Boston that's running Cy Young, Roger Clemens, Pedro Martinez, 1, 2, 3, where Louis Tion's coming out of the bullpen, right? And in Texas, it's Yu Darvish and Danny Darwin and C.J. Wilson, and these are not bad names, but again, context, right?
Yeah.
So, and we are starting to make changes. I wanted to get into it more this weekend, but we're far enough into the season that guys getting tuned up might just need to take a break, and that's what we did in Texas. Charlie Huff came up from their Texas squad. Every team has 14 guys who are brilliant players, just off the main roster. And so if a guy's really struggling, it might be time to make a change. David Wells came up for Toronto because I forget one of the Blue Jays was just getting tuned. And last year, that guy was Dave Stieb, who got sent down for David Wells. Stieb is good this year, but somebody else was just rotten. So Wells I think it was Doyle Alexander, just getting active. So up he comes. But anyway, one of the things we like is the variance season to season. So Houston has grabbed control of their division. Pittsburgh is really good, though they just suffered a big loss that we'll get into. And the Mariners had a good start last year that cooled off, and it might be the same thing. The funny thing about Seattle is their undisputed ace, the guy who can't be touched. And you automatically think, well, probably Randy Johnson or maybe Felix Hernandez. Nope, James Paxton, best pitcher in all of eternal baseball so far.
Wow.
And I keep waiting for that 3-inning, 8-run start from him. But last time out, like 6 clean innings, and the ERA, when your ERA drops from 1.05, you're doing something right. So kudos to the Big Maple.
This is a year, man. This is it. We're doing it.
Could be it for those Mariners. So anyway, this week we only had one really good team. It wasn't interleague play week. Boston was very strong at 5-1. And then the Knights struggled, which is unusual. The Expos had a rough week, which is a shame because I'm always pulling for Montreal. They are a lot more competitive than last year, though. And then the Rangers, they are 6 weeks in and they've never won more than 2 games a week. So
we may have to actually bring up an entire minor league team.
Yeah. It'd be awesome if we relegated Texas, right, at midseason.
I can't remember. What's their AAA team? Is it Rolling? It's not Rolling Rock.
Round Rock, isn't it?
Round Rock? Oh, okay.
Round
Rolling Rock. That's the beer. Yeah, Round Rock.
Yeah, it's not Rolling Rock.
My bad.
I think they're the Blue Ribbons, though, which is weird. But
the Blitz.
Yeah, it's the Blitz. So here we are. That's your weekly tracker. If I close that down and this down, then we actually get a look at the standings. And the one thing to watch, it's something that came out in the newsletter this week too. We compared the winning percentages of the teams currently with how they ended up last year to see who's really hot, who's really cold. And your 2 complete outliers. We called it the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? The good, look at Tampa here, who was well under 500 last year. But we thought they'd be better because they added Wander Franco and Brandon Lau and a couple other guys. 21-14, only 2 games back of Birmingham.
Nice,
Birmingham
got a race.
Right? Birmingham was undisturbed last year.
Yeah, they were up by 12, it felt like, at this point.
Yeah, they were killing it last year. And then the one that fell off the cliff is the Cardinals, 12-23. They tied for that division last year and lost to Chicago in a 1-game playoff. My favorite bit, if you can imagine it, Bob Gibson, not throwing his best baseball yet. He has like a 3.8 ERA, but he's 0-5. And I can only imagine, right, when the reporters get into the locker room afterwards and they pull straws to see who has to go try to talk to Bob Gibson at 0-5. When he's not pitching that badly, right? Like those aren't Bob Gibson numbers, but 3.8 against these kind of lineups.
That's like you might as well just ask Lasorda about Curt Bavacqua.
Right. Yeah, go ask him about Bavacqua's performance. So anyway, but it does feel like the league is a little more balanced, less runaways. The East is sharp with New York and Boston, but it always is. But Baltimore is not bad either. I do like that Montreal has rebounded because I always feel bad that Montreal lost their franchise.
Mark, check the comments.
Yeah. Well, I gotta be careful with this. Oh, thank goodness.
Control B.
Yeah, exactly. So glad Rob didn't take it personal that we accidentally banned him last week. See, we got that Irizarry on Irizarry violence that's inherent in the system. And anyway, looking over at the league leaders, and again, we put the league leaders up, the division leaders, the division standings, and the daily scoreboard every day at eternalbaseball.com. But it's
a $10 daily value for free,
right? And I'm no Red Sox fan, but who doesn't like Ted Williams, right? Dude who fought in 2 wars.
So 440 is pretty impressive, but Josh Donaldson at 396, that might even be more impressive.
Not bad, right? And I never knew much about George Sisler, who actually played for the St. Louis Browns that became the Baltimore Orioles. But he's actually a pretty good pitcher, too. So, and that was something that happened this week in interleague play. Babe Ruth talked his way into a start for the Yankees because if he pitched, that meant somebody else got to play the outfield. I think Judge played in right because you had Ruth's bat in the lineup on the mound. Only started 5 times for the Yankees after coming over from Boston. Won all 5, which is kind of impressive. But it was the kind of thing where late in the year, if they had wrapped up the American League, he would talk his way in for 1 start late in the year. But here, it actually kind of makes sense with interleague play that, yeah, you might pitch Ruth, you might pitch Sisler to keep the bat in the lineup and still have another bat added on. But the funny bit with Ruth, he pulled his tricep. He was going to miss like 2 weeks. So it's a little bit Jose Canseco-esque that the goofball talks his way out of the mound. Look what happened. So anyway, just seeing some of the familiar names. Harlan Clift here is another guy who played for the Browns and was an amazing player. and steals playing time from Brooks Robinson, which Baltimore fans are furious about, right? Like, ain't nobody better than Brooks. Well, maybe not. Not defensively, but
Not defensively.
Harlan Clift's getting it done. Piazza's had a great season for the Mets. His numbers feel like he might be getting a little help from the modifier. And then pitching wise, Paxton. Adam Wainwright was one of our players of the week. The first time I think he's been a player of the week. And I put him up on our Cardinals Facebook pages that we're affiliated with. And he got a ton of support from Cardinals fans. So it's always interesting to me the guys who just kind of push the needle, right? Bellinger's like that for the Dodgers.
Galarraga.
Every
time there's a Galarraga post, whoa.
Yeah, Gary Carter's won it a couple of times, and it's funny because he gets a lot of support, but he also gets a lot of sad emojis, right? Because the Expos lost, one of their favorite sons recently. So anyway, that's where we're at looking at the league, and this is I'll show you how this goes because our game tonight almost went with Birmingham Tampa because Tampa's so impressive this year and Birmingham hasn't been challenged before, but we've actually already done Tampa and we're only a few weeks in, so it's kind of the flip of last year where we got to Tampa in like week 35.
I'm not even sure we hit Tampa, did we?
I think we got Tampa at the very end, but they were so eliminated, right? And it was I don't remember if they won or lost, but it was not that exciting.
It's a somber occasion.
The game always starts. I'm going to have to change James Paxton's photo over there because I like the one of the eagle landing on him. Like, that's got to be his photo. So we'll get there.
Oh, Rob. Yeah, Rob had a comment about Babe Ruth.
Oh, yeah. Let's see here. Right. Yeah. Babe Ruth hurt. Oh, and that was the other thing I wanted to mention. I won't go back. I won't go back to bring it up. But a couple of injuries were coming up funky, where a guy was hurt. A guy got hurt on like January 30th or December 30th. And on the injury report, it said he was out till December 8th. And I'm like, well, that's weird. I think they mean January 8th. So we just corrected that by typing, and it turned out to be true. And I thought that was true for Ed Morris, who's the ace of the Pirates. If you don't know him, it's not your fault. I didn't know him. He pitched in like the 1890s, but he's known as the first great left-handed pitcher in Major League Baseball, and he was great last year for us. He was a NL Cy Young finalist, but he was listed as being out till December 8th, and we're beyond January 8th, and he's still listed as out till December 8th with an arm injury. So I think we have our first season-ending injury.
Wow,
in international baseball. So
our first deceased player in the middle of the season.
Yeah, it doesn't happen very often, and I don't know if they're careful with that on the injury front or what, because that's a big part of any baseball. Is the season-ending injury happens to dozens of guys a full season, but I think this is our first. So the Pirates, who are I think they're in first place right now, are going to have to go the rest of the way without their ace. Yeah. So this was today, the 9th, but we'll be playing the first game off the 10th schedule, and we are Philadelphia and Houston. So we're gonna control both teams here when we set them up because I want to show you how this EPC expected pitch count thing has been an issue. So play. So if we go over here to Phillies and sort it here, this means inactive. So these are the guys not currently on their active roster. And you see Cole Hamels here pitched yesterday through 102 pitches, but his expected pitch count for today is 120. So this is the stuff I've been going in, and it'll show correct down here, but it's not. So I have to update it to make sure Cole Hamels doesn't get the start before I let the computer simulate the game. But everybody else here looks fine. I'm not sure if Chris Short is going to throw 90 pitches a day after throwing 57. So he might be available, but not that available.
Great picture.
Yeah, right? Like, so, yeah, and Grover Alexander's great, and he should be ready tomorrow, but if I leave him at 90, they might choose him. If I was turning this over to the computer, they might choose him to pitch today, and we're not going to pitch him today. So I'll drop him down a little bit. It would keep him from being selected if the computer was doing the selecting. Steve Carlton has had a dreadful year. Look at this 8.17 ERA.
Wow.
Probably not talking to reporters about that. And Charlie Ferguson, 7.18, so he's not going today. So today, and this is a bit too, Curt Schilling hasn't pitched in days, but his pitch count hasn't recovered either. He's still at 75. So we're going to fix him and get him back up. And that may be
150. No.
that may be a residual to when I brought him down in the past. So I'm getting this fixed because it's taken a lot longer to sim the games just to set them up and then say, okay, computer, who won? So I don't play every game. I play games here and there, and usually do a mediocre job. But today, as advertised, it's going to be Curt Schilling for the Phillies. And then over for Houston, same kind of deal. J.R. Richard to 141 pitches yesterday. He is not available today, or maybe all week. That's like some of those Japanese high school tournaments you hear about. Where kids throw like 210 pitches and then pitch in relief the next day. Like
they're getting platelet injections between.
So this guy has struggled, but we're hoping he turns it around. It's Roy Oswalt today. And I'm sure Oswalt and Schilling faced off here and there, at least when Schilling was a Diamondback.
Yeah.
So I guess to be fair, we'll set the lineups for both squads. So if Houston's facing a right-hander, they are looking like Jim Wynn having another great year. So he's probably cleaning up while they're all righties. Let's see who's on bases through the roof. Wow, Yuli Gurriel can't hit lefties. But at least so far this year. And again, it's 35 games, so it's not a killer, but it hasn't been his year yet. Okay, if Wynn's in center, that's kind of where Cedeno lives. And Cedeno's a better center fielder. So Cedeno would be in center, and Wynn would be in either left or right, wherever we need him. Bagwell plays first. Altuve's at second. That's a really right-handed lineup. I already have a third baseman, but Bregman is eligible at shortstop. So we can drop him in there. Castro catches. And Jordan Alvarez. Man, he's a terrible fielder. Actually, we'll go with Springer instead. They're almost the same. And Springer will play right. There we go. So moving over to Philly. And man, Philly's Billy Hamilton. Not the one everyone thinks of. Not the guy who just finished playing. But a great base stealer from the late 1800s. Had an 18-game hit streak that we were all set to talk about, and they went 0 for 5 yesterday. Ooh. So thanks for nothing, Billy. Sliding Billy Hamilton.
Oh, Sherry Mcgee.
Right? They're not going to run afoul of him. Looks like Ryan Howard hasn't played much, but his numbers are great. Let's see. Del Ennis has a 583 on base against righties. So come on down.
Does he have a lot of at-bats, though?
Probably not.
Okay. Because if it's between him and Sherry Mcgee,
right?
That's a no-brainer.
We do kind of owe the Mcgee family.
If Mike gets Willie Randolph, dang it.
Right?
I get Sherry Mcgee.
I think we can make that happen. Hang on. Kind of weird that a Braves hitting cleanup, but a Braves can't play center.
Mike got a good comment.
Yeah, not whipping Billy Hamilton. Yeah, you can't steal first base. That's the old line.
Dude, how How did this Billy Hamilton not just talk to Rod Carew a little bit? It's like just slap it, man. Just
hit it in the ground, man. All right, I need a center fielder, so it looks like it's going to be Delahanty instead of Abreu.
we gotta get Billy in, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, these might be joke numbers. Let's see who we looking at here. Howard, Ennis, Dick Allen's tremendous, right? And if you don't
That's
believe
no
me,
brainer.
I got a picture of him juggling baseballs while smoking in the dugout. If you need further proof of that, but so there's your boy Sherry Mcgee. Ryan Howard has 5 at bats, so his numbers might be a little inflated.
We gotta get Michael Jack in there for sure,
yeah,
right?
Del Ennis only has 19 at bats, so those you're right. Those numbers are pretty hollow.
Let's get Sherry and Billy in there and Schmitty.
All right. So the only guy in here who's really earned his smoke, literally, is Dick Allen. So hang on here. If we were doing it by guys with numbers that counted, it would be Abreu, Delahanty, Dick Allen, Darren Dalton. And then if I mix up Allen and Howard, we can go lefty, righty, lefty, righty. Ennis and Howard's numbers we don't believe in. Well, now we can do a whole bunch of lefties. Chase Utley, Billy Hamilton. Oh, wait, I already got 3 outfielders now, man.
I mean, you have to have Dick Allen, but
yeah,
beyond that, I think we've got a little bit of leeway.
Would you play Hamilton over Abreu? We're looking at 8:43
every day of the week and maybe once on Sunday.
That gives us our fast guy leading off. And then Delahanty can play right
Again,
field.
ride the pine for Sherry Mcgee.
Wait a minute. Hang on. Left field. Can Dick Allen play right field? No. He can play third base. He's pretty bad at third base.
What about, we got to have Mike Schmidt, though, man. We can't have Philly.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay, so Dick Allen has to play left because he's cranky anywhere else. So Delahanty goes to right, and we're going to replace Abreu. Sherry Mcgee plays a terrible shortstop, a 2.
Dude, if you want to roll the dice, man.
He's 200 OPS points better than Jimmy Rollins. So
yes, do it, man.
All right. So split up the lefties a bit with no offense, Sherry. We're getting in lineup. And then Schmidt, who's struggled kind of against righties, plays third. Now we need a first baseman. Oh, that's where I missed it.
You put Howard in, huh?
No, Allen can play first just as badly.
Just as badly.
So don't tell him I said that. So that frees up Del Ennis, who has great numbers limited. Okay, it frees up Abreu. Let's be a little more realistic. So we'll go Abreu. We'll go Abreu. There we go. In left. And then Utley, Mcgee, Utley, Schmidt.
Yeah, looks good.
Low. It's low.
If they do poorly in the field, we'll just blame it on the pitch count.
Yeah.
The Y2, what'd you call it?
Y2K22. Yeah. All right, fine. That's enough lineup tweaking. I think we're ready for baseball.
Boom, let's do it.
All right.
Although this is always our most popular part of our broadcast.
Houston has won 8 of their last 10. Curt Schilling takes the mound for Philadelphia. He'll be making his first start of the year. Roy Oswalt will be on the mound for Houston. He's made 6 starts on the year and is 2-2 with an earned run average of 6.18. His first start against Philadelphia. It's 75 degrees. Pitching for Houston, Roy Oswalt.
All right, on my to-do.
Leading off for Philadelphia, center fielder, Billy Hamilton.
On my to-do list is tuning down the organist before next week. Because with me and Mike last week, we were in Toronto, and he killed us with "Oh Canada." Like, it was significant. So So getting into the options here, we are Houston. Computer will be Philly. So here we go. Billy Hamilton is a great bunter. So bring the corners in. Didn't take long.
Right fielder, Ed Delahanty.
Look at him, 97% over at first. So I'm always going to pick that guy off unless you think a pitch out is more appropriate, because you can get a guy out of pitch out now and then.
Jason Castro has a one arm. I don't think he's even getting him on a pitch out here. So
good boy. You should have played Biggio at catcher.
Is that
okay. 96. I have him at 80.
Might as well just give him second base.
Yeah, let's just play. There we go. Okay. Go ahead. Once in a while, it just gets a random pitch. There he goes. He didn't throw.
He didn't even throw.
Can you honestly say that was the wrong play? Before Jason Castro.
First baseman, number 15, Dick Allen.
He's a bad man. Finalist for NL MVP last year. Get him. Well, if he tries to steal home, Castro doesn't have to throw anywhere.
That'd be amazing if he actually went.
Catcher, number 29,
Look at him.
Darren.
Wow.
Walden.
Even Dick Allen's got a 95%. Yeah,
we may have to rethink.
Billy Hamilton is basically in the batter's box right now.
We may have to rethink Jason Castro. Because wait a minute, I wonder if they have 3 catchers on their roster. Because you don't think of Biggio as a catcher, right? Yeah, that's a negative. Biggio's the only other catcher. So if we put him in and somebody gets hurt, we're kind of hosed. Well, I'm certainly not going to let Dick Allen steal. That's better.
Left fielder, Bobby Abreu.
Get out of this. Wow.
Pitching for Philadelphia, number 38, Curt Schilling.
So I didn't realize.
Leading off for Houston, third baseman, number 10, Yuli Gurriel.
I didn't realize that Schilling hadn't started a game yet this year, but he started last season in long relief, but up with the big club, and made his way into the rotation mid-year and did real well. So it might be the same thing this year, although it's still jarring to think of Steve Carlton as a turnstile on the mound. But all right,
good. Look at Sherry Mcgee.
Right, look at
Here we go. Here we go.
Get him, Sherry.
Oh, he did.
Right.
Did he get it?
Center fielder, Cesar Cedeno.
And for the Astro fans out there, we're not making too many trash can jokes, but Yuli Gurriel is my least favorite Astro for other reasons. So forgive me for not shedding a tear that Sherry Mcgee. He tested Sherry McGee's fine Irish defense that came up lacking.
That's a fine Irish defense you got there. Oh.
First baseman, Jeff Bagwell.
Rob is not a Schilling fan.
Yeah, kind of polarizing. I actually met him when he was talking some of his 38 Studios game companies with Todd McFarlane when I worked at McFarlane Toys, and
yeah,
he was totally fine in the room, active
nice
pitcher
guy
at the time. And our buddy Chris Martin and his dad, I clued them in that Schilling was in town and at the office. So I couldn't say when, but if they waited around, they might catch him coming out. And he was, I mean, he's done the autograph thing 8 billion times, right? But he was walking to his car to go to the airport, and he handled it so well because it wasn't the blow off. It wasn't the too busy guys. He just met it head on because there was only like 3 people out there looking for an auto. And he went right up to Nitz and his dad and said, "Guys, I'm in a hurry to get to my plane, but I'm glad you came out. Is there something I can sign for you?" And they were like, "Yeah." And he handed them the pen and everything. He gave them a nice Curt Schilling auto. and we guys, I really appreciate it. I am just slammed for time. I gotta go, and it was true. But even if it was a line, he
like, well handled.
Gave them an interaction they can be happy about, because it didn't go away with, well, he scribbled something and ran away. It was, he didn't have any time, and he gave me a slice of what he had, right? So I was impressed. I was really impressed with how he handled that. He didn't know those guys were ringers, right? That I had clued them in. So I was pretty pleased with that. So good for Curt.
Shortstop, Sherry, Mcgee.
All right. He's a great bunter, Brent. I just want to let you know that
he's just a great player, Mark. Like,
really,
frank.
I am going to have to fix the picture though, because for vintage guys, the colorized black and white throws me.
I don't know. That looks kind of cool, man. Looks kind of cool.
He's a handsome man.
The way it's kind of cocked to the side. This is a man who knows what he wants.
Oh, who's the ex-Yank Twins pitcher who does that? He was a Mariner originally.
Oh, you're
put
thinking
a bunch
about
of pine tar on his neck a couple years ago. Got himself in trouble. He does that.
Oh yeah, Fernando Rodney.
Rodney does it, but there's an ex-Yank. I'm sure the Irizaris will have that for me shortly. All right, are we bunting with Mcgee, or just are we good?
I think we're striking him out, right?
Oh, we're pitching. I'm sorry, pitching's going. Sorry about that.
I mean, if we can.
Second baseman, number 26.
Maybe I should have pulled
Chase
the corners in.
Utley.
Maybe next time, but Chase Utley, who I liked until that slide, right? Is that one of the dirtiest slides you ever saw?
That was pretty bad. Pretty bad. But again, like, with the rules the way they were, he gets an earful if he doesn't break that up, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, I get it on some level, but for me, I always judge it by the guy sliding, right? This is Utley. He's a second baseman, right? He knows how much you don't want someone rolling over your leg there, right?
I've got my Hal McRae bar. That's sort of what I judge every slide on. So,
but I think that it's kind of like the NFL, right? Where they started really legislating the big hits across the middle, and told the guys they have to go, they have to aim for the legs. And receivers are like, for God's sake, don't aim for my legs, right? Because you can knock me cold and I'll be back in 10 minutes. But if you throw my knee out,
you're right.
The head's fine as we drag the legless guy out of the middle. Machado ruining Dustin Pedroia's career, right? I'm like, you're a shortstop. Like, you have been in the crosshairs before. It feels like there should be some professional courtesy there.
No,
right?
I agree. It's hard, but when you're talking about a playoff, that's
Yeah, I suppose.
Pineda.
Michael Pineda.
My God, yeah, Pineda. I guess it doesn't have the.
I think it's Pineda
mark on it. Yeah.
I don't think there's a but
there's no umlaut.
No.
Third baseman, Mike Schmidt.
All right, Mike. You redhead, you.
Left fielder, Jim.
Got a pretty good outfield, actually, huh?
Yeah, pretty good. And I didn't know much about Jim Wynn, but he had an incredible season in our first year of fraternal baseball, and he's off to another good start right now.
Second baseman, number 27,
Jose
Altuve.
Here's all 5'3" of Jose Altuve.
Dude, he is. Oh, what happened?
Look at that. I was going to say he
Alex
came up a little
Bregman.
short.
Let's see. What's it say? I can't read it without putting my mug right from.
Mcgee moves to his right, fields it, throws to first, safe. That will be a base hit for Altuve.
So not a bad throw, though, right?
Nope, totally fine. Now, unfortunately, I see about 52% on Altuve stealing. Dalton's got a 5-arm, so not bad. So I think that's, if it's not in the 70s, I'm really not even considering it, right?
Yeah, probably not.
Unless you want to hit and run, this seems just like let him swing.
Let's let him swing.
All right. What's your opinion on Alex Bregman?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm kind of torn because you hear some occasional, he's from New Mexico, so I hear some insider stuff on him a little bit.
Oh, there you go. Nothing you can share?
Nothing I can share, so
here's
sorry.
Former podcast I like, Jim Cornette, former pro wrestling manager, always describes a good heel, a bad guy, as one of the things they need is a slappable face, right? A guy you just wanna, and that's Bregman to me, right? I don't have anything to base that on. But Bregman has a slappable face, so he needs to fill it.
Oh, he's quite good, so I can't really say anything either way.
Catcher, number 15, Jason Castro.
Hey, Jason Castro's up. He's gonna have to make up for that first inning defensively, but
one arm.
no,
Right fielder,
I
number
feel like
4,
if you and I
Springer.
right?
by the back.
There's a guy
I
totally forgot about until a Brewers fan brought him up in the preseason, or right before the season. Dave Nilsson, right? Played in the late '90s. He was Australian, one of the first Australian players to make it to the bigs, and he was really good. And he just hung it up kind of young, and Milwaukee wasn't winning, but he had 3 good years in a row, one of them an all-star, I think. So he actually makes Milwaukee's all-time roster and splits time with, I think, Lucroy behind the plate. And I came up against him this week, and they had his arm rated as like a 1 or something god-awful. And I was simming a game against him, and it was like a Conga line. If they got on base, I was just like, here you go, here you go. I think we had like 14 steals by the 5th. Like, we're just killing them. And I actually shut the game. I closed the game. Went, you know what? That's garbage. And I gave him, I think I bumped it up to like a 2 or a 3. Just to, okay, the arm's not good, but it's not.
It can't be that bad.
If it was that bad, he's unplayable, right? As a catcher, you could DH him a bit, maybe.
Right, if you're not hitting 330 with 20 homers or something.
So I fixed it and then resend the game, and I think they still lost, but there was only like 3 steals and not 15. So anyway, George Springer,
Pitcher, number 38, Curt Schilling.
Oh, that is National League Baseball for you. Curt Schilling leading off. Oh no, with a single to right.
Uh-oh.
Center fielder, Billy Hamilton.
Schilling, 38% chance to steal.
I mean, the good thing is when Hamilton gets a base hit here, he can't run on us anymore. So
even though it's always dangerous to sub in your backup catcher, especially early. If Schilling steals on Castro, I'm pulling it. Just like that.
All right, man.
Just saying.
Set the marker down.
Oh, Mike too. No, Billy Hamilton's way too.
Right fielder, Ed Delahanty.
All right, let's put Hamilton on third.
Right, let's give him a little bit. Okay, 87. I
Hey,
feel bad.
all right.
Hey, let's pitch out, see if we can get him.
All right, let's do it.
Throw! Ah!
Hey, we had a throw, and he's only 44% now. That's pretty good.
All right. So intimidated by our strategy.
He has 3 steals so far.
I'm not sure what happened there. Let's see. Hang on. It likes something.
Yeah, you might have to read that
First
one to
baseman,
us.
Yep.
Dick Allen.
Someone didn't animate very well. It said 1-0 count, bounce between first and second, diving stab by Bagwell. He pegs to Oswalt, covering out. Hamilton moves to third. All right. And we get Dick Allen. Bagwell dropped it.
Catcher, Darren.
Yeah, read it. What happened?
Says Hamilton scores. Allen has himself a hit. I guess he was going to be safe anyway at first. The throw got away from Bagwell. Allen is going for second. Bagwell throws to second. Safe. Credit Gurriel with an error. So there you go. And actually, late in his career, I think it was the last year, maybe last 2, Bagwell legitimately could not throw. And they just said, play first base, man. We love your bat. He could hit, but physically he could not throw. So maybe that was the ghost of injuries past. Getting Dick Allen the extra base. But Billy's on the board, 1-0.
Pitcher, Roy Oswalt.
The animations are a little funky right now, but it was a pop out to Bagwell. And we get out of the inning. So Roy Oswalt will lead off against Curt Schilling. Well, look at that. Spicy.
Third baseman, Yuli Gurriel.
Okay, well, he can't bunt at all, so that kind of makes up our mind for us.
Is that a foul?
Center
just
fielder,
barely fair.
Caesar
Oh,
Cedeno.
Yep, on the ground to Allen at first. He'll go to first and take it himself. Oswalt goes to second to bring up Cesar Cedeno.
Strike 3.
First baseman, Jeff Bagwell.
Oh, here we go. Tie game.
Come on, Bags.
Ooh. Oh, kind of tailed there.
Left fielder, Bobby Abreu.
Any further, and Abreu would have given up on it. Because as I found out as a Yankee fan, never saw a player more terrified of the wall than Bobby Abreu. Like, his kryptonite for sure. And I thought it was just me. But when we put up the poll in the offseason for the 26th man, and Phillies fans couldn't believe Richie Ashford wasn't already starting in center field every day for the Phillies, when they saw Abreu was on the roster, some of them just lost their minds. Like, oh my God, the biggest coward ever. Right? Wouldn't even go get a double if it had touched the wall. That's how afraid he was of.
So did you just have one bad experience? Nobody knows the story.
Yeah. Never heard about Abreu like braiding himself on the wall, but anything over his head, like, yeah, he's running back, he touches track, and he put on the brakes like you wouldn't believe. So I would love to put him in center field here, have him deal with that uphill in Houston in the flagpole. But yeah, Bobby Abreu, afraid of the wall.
Shortstop, Sherry Mcgee.
You think he's going to bunt with one out? Seems unlikely.
Oh, no, he's all power, man. This is.
Yeah, he's 231 with 2 homers.
Frankly, we should walk him, but if you want to pitch to him, let's do this.
I like that our guilt about making fun of Sherry Mcgee had us shoehorn him into the lineup, hitting 231 with 2 homers and 5 RBIs. Meanwhile, Jimmy Rollins is sitting on the bench. Like, what? Yeah, I don't think that's got the distance.
We're paying for that one.
Second baseman, Chase Utley.
All right. Off to the races.
Third baseman, Mike Schmidt.
Utley, 83% to steal. Try to keep it a little closer. Oh, 88.
Oh, Castro. It's going to be a long day.
80. Okay, we can deal with that.
Ball.
I think sometimes when the ball 4 comes in,
Pitcher, Curt Schilling.
Hank Aaron or Mike Schmidt or Willie Mays, I'm like, not really that upset about it.
Yeah, usually Willie Mays.
Especially with Schilling coming up next, 2 down.
Yeah. That's good.
There we go.
Left fielder, Jim Wynn.
All right, Jim.
Ball.
There we go.
Send him.
Starting the rally.
Second baseman, Jose Altuve.
39%.
39.
Let's hit and run.
Okay.
Getting antsy over here.
No, run, win. Oh! Man.
That's your job, man. Before the 5th inning, you're supposed to keep me in check.
Altuve strikes out just as the explanation point on our folly.
That one's on you, Weber.
Oh, look at Bregman.
Wow.
Bregman hits a 2-run. Oh, wait.
I didn't want to tell that story about all his charitable giving, but since he hit the homer, I guess Castro. I can tell it now.
It could have been a 2-run homer. Just saying. Jason Castro gets a hold of one. No. Oh, maybe. Dear. Look at Ed.
It's got a chance. He did it.
Nice.
Right fielder,
3
George
catchers on the roster. Come on, Weber.
We love it. I don't have 3. I only have 2. George Springer. You know, Springer. It feels like Springer actually didn't leave because he barely played for Toronto last year. So that's getting through.
Send him.
Pitcher, Roy Oswalt.
With 2 outs and Oswalt at the plate, I'm not sure that
Yeah.
we want our last out to be Springer on the bases.
No, fine.
All right. Come on, Roy.
Oswalt was always a pretty good hitter, wasn't he?
Center fielder,
Yeah, I think he was
Billy
not bad.
Hamilton.
All right, Billy Hamilton's leading off, and he's a fantastic bunter. So I think maybe bring these corners in just to make sure. Because if he gets on, it's a triple, man. Didn't get him. Yeah.
Did he get him?
I think he got him.
Right fielder, Ed Delahanty.
Ed Delahanty, who's another great bunter, but with 1 out, not as worried. Now we're rolling.
First baseman, Dick
Ugh.
Allen.
So
It's like
2 outs
Willie Mays.
in a tight game with Dalton behind him. I'm thinking we might want to pitch around Superman Dick Allen here.
Okay.
I'll walk. I don't mind if we walk him, but
Ball, ball.
whatever.
Well, I still remember that story about
Catcher,
Dalton
Darren
just being a
Dalton.
Oh, yeah,
Norse god, basically. when Ridnour saw him at spring
Right?
training.
Yeah, a kid from our hometown. Did he get drafted by the Phillies late?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I think like 13th round or something. But
Yeah.
he did get drafted. Yeah.
And then he came home from camp at some point and said, "Dude,
Oh yeah, I just said that Dalton was just a beast, like just another level,
I can only imagine."
like a Konami action like a game villain or something.
He actually came up in 8-bit graphics in real life. All right, Dick Allen, 72% to steal. Keep him a little closer. 92.
Oh man,
95. Hold on, I want to break the machine. Let's see. Okay, 76.
Strike 3.
I like the
Third baseman,
I like that
Yuli
Dick Allen took
Gurriel.
that personal. I took a slightly bigger lead every time. Just throw over here. Just throw over here. Yuli Gurriel. All right. Enough said.
Center fielder, Cesar Cedeno.
Not a good bunter. So that's through though.
First baseman, Jeff Bagwell.
We got a little something brewing here. That was I don't know if it was a wild pitch or a pass ball, but he flagged it down before anybody could advance. Oh, and Bagwell gets plunked.
whew. Man, that was really behind him.
Left fielder, Jim Wynn.
Crowd's so mad. All right, Jim Wynn. Nobody out. Bases loaded. Have some damage.
Strike 3.
Oh!
Second baseman, Jose Altuve.
Come on. Wait.
Altuve.
We can fix that.
Altuve.
Lamahua.
Right? I fixed one the other. I fixed Otani.
Did
It
you?
was Otani.
Oh,
So Altuve.
Alcove.
Jose Alcove.
Altuve? How else did I make
Altuve.
that? Altuve.
Altuve.
It's a little better.
Altuve.
Can you do like 3 O's?
Maybe. That'd be O's.
Altuve.
Oh, well. We're going to do that. Pretend it's better.
Altuve.
Good enough.
I tried.
Oh,
Oh, it's good. Wait.
Oh.
I thought it was. No, it's going to be
oh
caught.
we're running on Abreu.
Come on.
Go,
Gurriel.
Gurriel.
59% chance.
Yes.
All right.
Boom. It's the 5th inning. Let's do this.
70% if we send Cedeno to third.
Why not? Let's just roll it.
Oh,
no!
Obey you.
Did we have bases loaded, nobody out, and got no runs?
If that's the way you want to look at it, I feel like we made something happen there.
I mean, I don't think there's any way
in
that
a really
glass
negative manner.
I don't think there's any way that glass is half full. There's no way.
They're telling us that Oswald is strong, which usually means we're about to get shelled too.
Yeah, it's usually true, right? Do you want to get somebody ready? He's got 26 pitches left.
Oh, who's he facing? Abreu, Sheridan
Abreu,
McGee, and
Utley.
We got it. This is 1, 2, 3 inning. Piece of cake.
Strike 3.
All right.
Shortstop,
Go get him, Roy.
Sherry, McGee.
Strike 3.
Second baseman, Chase, Utley.
Yeah, if Utley gets on, we might need somebody.
Oh, he's not gonna get on. Just you got this, man.
Yeah, but there's no harm in getting a guy up in the pen.
All right.
Come on. They got a lot of guys in the pen, actually.
Brad Lidge.
Yeah, right. Astro fans still don't trust him. Better than Chad Qualls, though. Okay, so here are the starters. Wagner's great. Like, I love Billy Wagner. Like 5'8", throwing 100, like ridiculous.
Wait, he was the one who was right-handed, right? But
No,
he
he's lefty.
threw. But he taught himself to throw like. But he actually, I think he does most of his. I thought I read an article where most of his other daily life is basically right-handed. He just taught himself to pitch lefty.
Oh, okay.
It's really bizarre.
It works.
Yeah, he was great.
Closer. I'm thinking it's Will Harris here. George coming in. Ain't no thing.
Shortstop, Alex, Bregman.
All right, Bregman. Oh, could have a chance. Crowd loves it, but no.
Catcher, Jason, Castro.
Come on, Castro.
Strike 3.
Right fielder, George, Springer.
He has his homer.
As Rob says.
Yeah. It's kind of
Pitcher,
true.
Roy Oswalt.
All right. With Harris ready, a runner on, and Oswalt batting, I think we got a pinch hit for Roy here. He's only got like 4 or 5 pitches left. So
Yeah, that's fair.
So with righty Schilling still on the mound, let's see who our righty killers are.
Jordan.
Well, we put most of them in the lineup. Yeah, it is Jordan, who's the kind of guy you want to pinch hit and get off the field.
Yeah. Although it would be nice to see Berkman here before the game's over, too.
Big Puma. One of the greatest nicknames.
Just seemed like a cool guy, too. Yeah.
Yeah, and I dig those guys. There aren't a lot. Well, there's probably more than you think.
Pinch hitting for Houston, number 44, Jordan Alvarez.
But he's from Houston, and I think he went to Rice University, and then played his glory years in Houston. So those guys,
that's awesome.
Like, that was one of the players of the day, like a month ago, was Troy Gloss for the Angels, and the Angel fans went nuts for it. It was one of those unexpected, popularity spike things. So I looked him up. It's from Carlsbad, California. Went to UCLA, and then was probably the best hitter on that title Angels team. So I got to imagine he never pays for a burrito in LA, right? Troy Gloss. So anyway, you're Alvarez. All right.
Third baseman, Mike Schmidt.
So Mr. Harris, you get Mike Schmidt.
Pitching for Houston, number 36, Will Harris.
Strike 3.
Pitcher, Curt Schilling.
All right. Schilling is almost done. I think he had 117 of 120 pitches. And the computer gets us right most of the times. But there's no way they would let him hit here. So I'm going to make sure he doesn't. So we'll take over Philly here. And Philly has, against righties, well, the same guys we thought numbers were bogus. Howard and Ennis or Cy Williams, who's 378. So you pick for me, Roto. You want Cy Williams, Dell Ennis, or Ryan Howard?
Oh, I think you go with Howard and hope for
You
a
got to go for
bomb.
the power, right?
I think so.
So we'll give Howard for Schilling.
Pinch hitting for Philadelphia, Ryan, Howard.
And then we'll give control back to Phil. All right. Oh, and wait a minute. I did that wrong. It would be rude of me to do that without getting someone ready in the Philly bullpen, since we're pinch hitting for their pitcher. So Ron Reeves, fantastic. I didn't know anything about him. He pitched in the 70s, I think. But he threw a ton of innings. Like it was like a Sparky Lyle or a Goose Gossage kind of reliever. Back then, they almost all threw 2 innings, 3 innings sometimes. So he can throw 50 pitches, and he's good against lefties and righties. So that's our guy, or their guy. Anyway. Okay.
We'd like to welcome all of our new Russian fans.
Love all our Russian bots. So here we go. I feel we did them right, and it worked for us too.
Center fielder, Billy, Hamilton.
This kind of harkens back to that last out of the World Series for all those years. Brutal.
Hamilton, you done.
All right, man.
Pitching for Philadelphia, Steve
Bedra.
Petrosian.
See, I don't know
Third
how
baseman,
that, I don't know how
Yuli
that works because they
Gurriel.
didn't actually get him ready, near as I can tell. But
So, well,
if they want Bedrock, okay. I got
sounds
no
good.
problem with that. Yuli likes him.
Oh, that's.
Look at Abreu. Oh,
Oh, he heard you, Weber. You were
User.
talking trash.
He was still on the grass there, though. So, so reasonable. Sherry Mcgee.
I didn't see it. Look like it froze. Did you get him?
First
Yeah,
baseman, Jeff
Ah, shoot.
Bagwell.
Jeff Bagwell.
sounds French.
A little
Right
bit,
fielder, Ed Delahunty.
Oh no, they're giving us the fine. Yeah, he
What
seems
happened?
super. He's in great shape.
Yeah, Harris is going to run out of steam if he gets into trouble at all.
Doing great, Skip.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good, Skip. I can get this guy. All right, we got back-to-back lefties coming in, a couple batters. So let's see who we have who's tough on lefties, other than Wagner. It's like Brad Lidge. What could possibly go wrong?
Ooh. Just walking right into the flames there. Let's do it.
The sad thing is, Lidge was really good for a long time.
Yeah,
right?
no doubt.
But his middle name may as well be Pujols, right? Because nobody thinks of him without thinking of Albert hitting that thing to the moon. All right, Will Harris. Here
Harris,
we
you
go.
said you were fine.
Here we go.
First baseman, Dick.
Oh
Allen.
no.
You want to put Biggio in right now?
Oh man. I'm more worried about Dick Allen than him.
Yeah, that's true. But we can put Biggio in right now and try to stymie that running game a little bit.
I don't know. Let's throw over and just see what happens.
All right.
100%.
Well, we calmed it down a bit. All right. Let's see what happens. Off he goes.
Oh.
So rough. Well, first base is open, but we're just pitching to Allen, right? We're not going to walk him.
I think
We're
so.
still
Who's on?
leading.
Well, I don't
We're
know.
still
Don't-
leading this game, damn it.
All right, man. I don't want to ruin your mojo here.
Catcher,
Ah, there you
Darren
go.
Dalton.
Darren Dalton. I fear no Dalton. Reeves a right, or Lidge is a right-hander too, so it doesn't really matter. Harris, probably your last bat.
Left fielder, Bobby Abreu.
Man, hard not.
Harris has been real good, but he's 27 pitches into a 30-pitch maximum.
I think he's slinging right now, though. I think we'd give him
I
one
guess
more.
Let's check. Let's do a mound trip. We'll see how he's feeling. He may be tiring.
All right. I don't know what that means necessarily, but if you feel we should make the move.
Yeah, I mean, bringing in Lidge, what could go wrong? I was gonna. I forgot to look.
Oh no, it's almost worth it. Just leave him in now.
It's a double switch. Where are we here? Nah, because I'm not benching Gurriel, Cedeno, or Bagwell. So he must go for Harris. He's not going to be around that long anyway. All right. So Lidge. Come in. Yes. For Harris.
Pitching
All
for
right.
Houston, Brad Lidge.
Brad Lidge.
Strike 3.
Yeah.
Left fielder, Jim Wynn.
We're making
Jim
quality
Wynn.
moves, Weber.
Right? We're so good. Okay, we got to remember to get Wagner ready once we have one out.
Rob's the still. He's just a little dubious.
Lose your win?
Get there.
Get
Yes.
there.
Send him.
Second baseman,
Oh, dude.
Jose
He's
Altuve.
so going. 86%.
What is it? 86?
86.
Yes, he's
Yeah.
send him.
Maybe.
Oh,
One
look at
dude.
that jump, man.
Oh!
Is that a second caught stealing?
Yeah. Man. All right, well, hang on. I already said you want Wagner ready. Okay. Jeremy.
Shortstop,
up to
Alex
the task.
Bregman.
Ozzie Smith right now. Do we need to sit? What's his name down?
Take your base.
They should, and they
Okay.
aren't. So
Catcher, Jason Castro.
Oh, send him.
Bregman.
Is that 82?
82.
Gone.
82.
Boom. Okay, let's get him in scoring position.
Go, Bregman. Run, damn it. He's in there.
All right.
All right. Now we hit for Castro, probably.
Uh,
Because it's a defensive upgrade anyway.
dude, he had a dinger today, right?
He
So
did. Let's just examine the possibilities.
okay.
So OPS versus Wright. Okay, nobody on the bench is better than Castro at 833 OPS.
What is Biggio as a catcher? I guess. Oh, 5?
Yeah, he's a 5. His arm can't be worse, but he's not better. He's not better defensively.
Yeah, why don't we wait till we have a base runner?
Wouldn't you rather hit Bregman than Castro here? Or Castro already homered and has better numbers and limited duties. So
Yeah, I don't know. That's tough. I think why don't we save? How many outs do we have? Because we're gonna have to pinch hit for Lidge,
2.
right? Oh, okay. So we won't get to Lidge.
no.
Yeah, that's cool, man. If you want to do Berkman, just to get
I
the
do.
Puma in there.
I do. All right. So Berkman.
I mean, a lot of this game is just aesthetics, man. It's not even.
Yeah. I mean, but
We're not data guys. Come on.
Wait till you see Berkman. Look at Berkman. Hey, come on. Love Berkman.
We got to get a picture with his hat off.
No!
Shortstop,
dang it.
Gary
See,
Mcgee.
we got to get those locks that he had, man, where he looked like Elvis.
Yeah, I should have gone there. I can fix that. But first, hang on. Right now, we've got Berkman catching. So
And still has a better arm.
I
than
would-
Jason
back in those days, when you could run into the catcher, I'd love to see somebody round third. with Berkman in armor at home plate, right?
Greg Luzinski is catcher.
Biggio's got a 5-arm, which is better than a 4-arm. Hey.
Oh, ta-da-da.
All right, so
Are
we
you
have
Lidge or-
Lidge. Lidge is a righty. Wagner's ready as a lefty. Mcgee is a better hitter at 324 off lefties than righties.
Okay.
So, Lidge at
So
least
let's
here?
give up this home run.
Right? Let's do it. Not quite. Or maybe, no.
Oh,
Springer's there.
Second baseman, Chase Utley.
All right, the flip is true for Utley. So here comes Wagner.
need some intro music.
Pitching for
Right?
Houston, Billy Wagner.
All right, Billy Wagner. Chase Utley.
Strike 3.
Threw him
Third
out.
baseman, Mike
Biggio
Schmidt.
lost the ball. We just subbed you in, Craig. And here's Schmidt. Down 2-1, 2 outs, 9th inning. Mike Schmidt digs in against Billy Wagner
Strike 3.
and sits down.
You know, we did pretty well today, man. I'm
You
proud
know
of us.
what? Most of
The
those
final
moves.
score from Minute Maid Park: Houston 2, Philadelphia 1. Roy Oswalt is the winner. He is now 3-2. Curt Schilling picks up the loss. He is now 3-1. Billy Wagner gets the save. Number 11. Jason Castro hit home run number 3 on the season. Alex Bregman hit number 6. Time of the game: 3 hours 20 minutes.
I mean, we ran a little long tonight, but it was all those great decisions we were making.
Man, I mean, if you just could have kept me in check on that hit and run, that would have been a perfect game.
How many guys did Dalton throw out? Was it just 2? Yeah, just 2. It was win both times.
I know.
My favorite game, I was looking up over the break, Jose Canseco, 0 for 2, 2 walks, 2 caught stealings. That is a good day at the office. That is maybe the most Jose day I've ever seen.
Maybe throw a throwing error in there.
Yeah, right? Like between that one and the Doink home run and blowing out his arm pitching in a blowout game, like that's the trifecta, I think, for Mr. Canseco. So, well, congrats to the Houston Astros for their 2-1 victory. And let's be honest, man, congrats to us for pushing all the right buttons. I didn't ban Rob. Overall, it was a good show. It was a good day. And
we had the Azaris, we had the Russians,
right?
Good pitching decisions. This had everything.
The guy, only one of the guys I banned last week came back, and it was the right one.
It's probably the same username. We just can't read Russian.
Right? We banned Rob's other account. That's what happened. But we are back. We hope you're enjoying Eternal Baseball. We're going to go through the rosters a bit this week and tune it up. Again, we want every team to be as competitive as possible, and 35 games in is probably a good enough sample size to move maybe a marginal guy out. If it's if it's like Steve Carlton, even Steve Carlton at 70% should be pretty valuable. So we aren't going to go nuts, but we'll give it a shot. We'll see what we can do.
Sweet Lou Whitaker, let's make this happen.
Right, give your teams a tune-up because that's part of the fun of it is. There's 14 guys, some of them Hall of Famers on the inactive roster. So the guy coming up maybe just fine. And I love the idea that like Babe Ruth got hurt and they called up Jorge Posada, right? To give him a right-handed hitting catcher to balance out Dickie and Barra. So I think that stuff's awesome. So we'll try to keep a list of that up on the site so you can see who's coming up, who's going down, and how your favorite team may have gotten better or worse. We'll see. But that's it. It's Eternal Baseball. You can find us at eternalbaseball.com. We have games every day except Friday. That's when the newsletter goes out, totally free. You can sign up on the homepage at eternalbaseball.com. You can comment in our team-specific forums. Let us know how we can tweak your favorite team to make them better. Find us on Facebook, find us on Instagram, find us on Twitter. We're all over the place. And we're happy to be back. So,
absolutely.
Thanks for tuning in. Give us a little slice of your Sunday night. And we'll be back. Hold on, let me time this right. We'll be back next week for another thrilling edition of the Eternal Baseball.